Alrighty guys, welcome back. Apologies for all this tape I've stuck on. I recorded the video but it was pretty terrible, so I'm doing it again. So I've had to put paper over all the stuff that I've done. But anyway, let's go. So I was talking about things being really hot. So let's talk about how hot things are, and let's also talk about how big these sections are. So up on the top in the crust where we live, the crust is, depending on whether you're on a mountain or under the sea. Here, if you're on top of a mountain, it's usually about I'm messing this up. Oh no, there we are. So it's usually about 35 kilometers deep. Whereas if you're under the water, under the ocean, on the sea floor, it can get down to about 5 kilometers deep, which isn't very far. So if you manage to dig all the way through that 5 kilometers, you'd be into the inner crust. But the reason we haven't done that is because even though it's only 5 kilometers down, you're going to have another 5 kilometers of seawater on top of you before you get down to the sea floor. And 5 kilometers under the sea is a pretty nasty place. So when people dig holes, they usually do it on land, and they dig from sea level. But that usually averages out to be about, the crust there is usually about 15 kilometers deep. So let's imagine we are digging from sea level and we're digging a hole, and they make these holes really small. They usually make them like, about the size of this sheet of paper wide, and they dig it down, 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 down. So the inner core is only about 15 kilometers down if you pick a good spot. However, the furthest we've actually got is only about 12 kilometers. And the first time they did one that deep, it took them 20 years to dig that far. Like, it's really quite hard. They've got a lot faster at it, but still no one's actually managed to get through. And we're not really sure we want to get through, because if you get through, you're going to be, there's going to be stinking hot lava everywhere, or magma. I guess it would be lava, because now it's on the surface. Anyway, it's not very nice down there. And as you're starting to get down, down, down towards the bottom here, it gets to about 200 degrees Celsius, which is, reasonably hot oven temperature. So not very nice. And so that, we're still talking about just this little transition here between the blue bit and the yellow bit. So that's, on average about 15 kilometers deep. Then we've got the mantle. So the mantle, I've drawn a nice little arrow here for how wide it is. This is around about, where did I write it? Nearly 3,000 kilometers deep. And the temperature there goes from about the 200 degrees up at the surface there, and then by the time you're getting close into this outer core, it gets to about 4,000 degrees. Hot. Alrighty, then next bit, the inner core, is around about 2,500 kilometers-ish. And so it starts off about 4,000, and by the time you get into the outside of the inner core, you're getting closer to about 5,000 degrees. Youch. The inner core rests at about 6,000 degrees. That's about the same temperature as the surface of the sun. It's a nasty place. So it's hot and squashy and metal. It's just death. Lots of death there. And that is about 1,200 from here to here. 1,200 kilometers. So the whole big distance here from one side of the earth to the other side of the earth is 12,742 kilometers in diameter. That's pretty big and pretty hot. Alrighty, we're at 4 minutes 14, so I think that's about the end of this one. So yes, in short, starts off pretty cool, gets really hot. Really big space, and we've explored barely any of it. We've made like a little dimple at the edge there. That's as far as we've gone.